Trying to escape a system of control is never easy. You could end up in a much more difficult situation than the one you got out of. In search of freedom, you can end up creating a new prison for yourself. This is the case of many red pills that wake up from the Matrix's control system only to fall into another, thinking that they were free. In this video, we're going to put ourselves in Cypher's shoes and explain why is it better to live in the Matrix. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Watching the life of a red pill, many might consider it an exciting life, going and accomplishing missions while dressed in leather and doing things that no other human can. Which pill would they choose? Without hesitation, they would choose the red pill because they tend to focus on the positive aspects of being a red pill, which is equivalent to being a superhero. But there are several reasons why it is preferable to live in the simulation. The first is the living conditions. On the one hand, humans connected to the Matrix live in pods, a type of egg that protects them in the outside world. And on the other hand, within the simulation, they can fulfill their goals. Although their reality is simulated, they have a chance to enjoy a quote-unquote normal life. They have the opportunity to find some happiness or pleasure within the simulation, something that they could seldom achieve in the outside world. In the real world, they are subjected to living in a destroyed world, hidden within the depths of the earth, surviving. They can rarely visit the surface as it no longer supports human life. The outside world is a visual nightmare. And if you thought that being trapped in the Matrix was bad, being in Zion is being part of a dictatorship where you make very few decisions because you must always think about the collective. Did you think you were going to become a red pill that will destroy the Matrix and fight the machines? This is extremely unlikely. Even people like Kid, who displayed skills that no other red pill had ever shown, had not yet been allowed to be on a ship. Every person in the real world must prove that he or she is worthy of a spot on a crew. By joining this war, you will end up doing maintenance work on Zion like the majority of its people. Within the Matrix lore, we know that there were around 20 ships with an average of a 5-people crew per ship, not including the operators, as they do not enter the Matrix. There would be approximately 80 people who reconnect to the Matrix to fight and become these heroes, versus 250,000 who would have to stay in Zion to do manual labor, such as maintenance, cleaning, cooking, etc. The odds of you becoming a red pill fighting within the simulation is 1,000 to 1. If by any chance you manage to become one of Zion's heroes and are assigned to a ship, your basic needs become a problem. Drinking water is extremely limited, and food is even worse. Food is artificially created. Some theories suggest that the food comes from mutated insects that survived the war. Either way, it's unpleasant food. So much so that it is one of the reasons why Cypher decided to betray his team. Once a year, the people of Zion have a celebration where they eat bread, but for the rest of the year, you would have to settle for eating that bug protein while you fondly remember your favorite meals from when you lived in the simulation. The next problem in the real world is relationships. Within the Matrix, there are millions of people, but in the real world, the number of humans is low, so finding a partner may be more difficult. A problem that Cypher and Ghost shared since they were both in love with the same woman, Trinity. Another problem on the list is the endless war. Living constantly in fear of dying and watching loved ones and comrades die in battle can psychologically destroy a person. Post-traumatic stress disorder became a major issue after the Vietnam War. Nearly 2 continuous decades of war that seemed to have no end affected the minds of the veterans that returned home. At the time, little was understood of the effects of war, but many of these veterans could not return to a normal life. In the case of the Zion War, the only hope is that the war will end in victory. It's either that or extinction, since the red pills have nowhere to go. Living hidden in a cave waiting for death represents a serious problem for the mental health of all the inhabitants of Zion. The next issue is that you have to abandon everyone you once knew. Family, friends, acquaintances, you must forget them, because now they are your enemy. Do you remember that house where you grew up in? It doesn't matter if it's destroyed during a fight between Smith and Neo. You must suppress all your emotions. You are only expected to cooperate with your captain's orders and forget your past. In the Matrix comic Savior, a red pill tried to wake up his parents, but they died once they woke up to the real world. Also, in an old Matrix script, there's the story of Eddie, a man who contacted his girlfriend in the Matrix and was caught by the agents. Once disconnected, not only will you be part of a war where you barely have your basic needs covered, but you will not be able to fight to save your friends and family from the Matrix. Because believe it or not, Zion's intention is not to free the humans, it is to destroy the Matrix, no matter how many humans die.
I thought we could win this war, or lose it. If we won, yes, millions would die in their pods. But our days and years would be spent saving those we could and reclaiming the surface.
From Matrix Online, this could be the worst reason of all. You will fight a war that you are unlikely to win to destroy the Matrix with your family and everyone you once knew within it, for a greater good, ignoring that they may be waiting for you to come home. But suppose that despite all of this, you decide to take the red pill. Eventually, you will discover that Zion is also a place controlled by machines, a place created to control the anomalies of the Matrix, and even if a truce is reached, it won't last long. You're simply creating a truce with a techno-dictatorship that you will never be sure if it was always part of the same control scheme. In an interview, the Wachowskis were asked which pill they would choose, and surprisingly, they chose the blue pill. But do you agree? Would you take the red pill? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.
Tired of your cookies not coming out as you want them to? That they don't taste like how your mother used to make them in her kitchen when you were a kid? Well, we have the solution for you. Introducing Oracle's Cookies, made only with the best ingredients and benevolent intentions. Oracle's Cookies will make you feel like you're the only one who can save the world. So don't delay. Pick up the phone and order now. There is absolutely positively nothing suspicious about Oracle's Cookies. If you can't trust this face, who can you trust?
Take a cookie. I promise by the time you're done eating it, you'll feel right as rain.